Yarrick was a leader born of desperation. He had promised his people the great blue oasis, but the desert is indifferent to promises. After weeks of heat, they found it, a lone stone well in the middle of the salt. But the water was black, smelling of sulfur and ancient rot. It was the bitter spring. 1 cup would give a man the strength to walk for an hour, but it would dissolve his organs by sunset. Yarrick looked at his dying people, then at the horizon. The true oasis was still 3 days away. They wouldn't make it. Not without a miracle. Or a lie. He didn't fix the water. He hid the poison. He gave them the silver shortcut. He watched as his people drank deeply, their eyes lighting up with false energy. They cheered his name. They called him a savior. For 12 hours, the caravan moved with a speed they had never known. They were sprinting across the salt, laughing at the heat. Yarrick walked at the front, clutching his own throat, the only man among them who knew they were already dead. He had scaled his speed by sacrificing his substance. The tragedy wasn't that they failed to reach the destination. The tragedy was that they arrived as corpses. Yarrick stood at the edge of the true oasis, alone, surrounded by the ghosts of those he saved. He had traded the life of his tribe for the momentum of a single day. He realized too late that a shortcut is just a longer way to a swifter grave. He sat in the silence of his success, a king of nothing. If you are building on a lie, you are just decorating a cemetery. This story reveals 4 brutal truths you need to face before you take your own shortcut. First, speed without integrity is just a faster way to the end. If your growth requires you to numb the pain of a failing system or lie to your market, stop moving. You aren't winning. You're accelerating toward a crash you cannot survive. You're just drinking from the bitter spring. Second, every shortcut is a high-interest loan against your future reputation. You might get the result today, but you will pay for it when you can least afford it. Your character isn't something you can borrow against to fund your growth. Eventually, the bill comes due, and the price is always higher than you imagined. Third, once you introduce a deceptive tactic into your foundation, it saturates everything. You cannot have a mostly honest operation any more than you can have a mostly clean well. That single drop of poison will contaminate the entire system. Protect the source, or the flow will eventually destroy you from the inside out. And the fourth truth, the person who is willing to crawl honestly will always beat the person who is forced to run on a lie. Sustainability is a tactical requirement, not a moral suggestion. Build your life, your business, your career in a way that makes time your ally, not your enemy. The market, and life itself, eventually filters out the fakes. Own the outcome. Welcome to the dojo. Like and subscribe for more lessons.